Hi guys, and we are live right now. So hi everyone. Thanks for coming live with us. And we have Sravan and Mukund from ToyStack. It's really great to have you guys on the stage, and I was really excited for this stream. So before that, everyone, welcome to Future Automation, a place where imagination meets reality, and you are listening to Tejas. So guys, today we are going to have a fairly different kind of format. This is the first stream that I'm doing, and I have two awesome guests with me, Shravan and Mukund, who are the co-founders of ToyStack. And we will be going through what is ToyStack, how we are going to use it, and all that things. What is their vision, and they'll be, helping you out. They'll be explaining you all these things. And I have been with them on few meetups, and it was really great talking to them. I have been with them back and forth for a while now. I've been speaking with them for the stream, and we all are really excited to have you guys. So, Shravan, over to you for all the explanation and intro, a bit of intro.
Hey, sure. Thanks a lot, Tejas, for this, and would love, this is our exciting journey to be part of your podcast as well, and doing this webinar with you.
Thank you.
And I have my colleague here, Mr. Mukund, and let's to just give you an idea. I worked as a cybersec guy, built SOC knock implementations for the federal governments in US. Took care of most of their deployments and then infra and applications and things like that. After that, me and Mukund and the other co-founder of us, we built many products. We built data centers. We built an AI health tech firm, which is still live today. I happen to be on the board of that company right now. And then our exciting journey of ToyStack started. So this idea was always there with us since probably about 6 years now. Basically, the whole thought process of this idea was how awesome it would be if you can just take the code from the repository, deploy it on a cloud, and then just give you a link to consume in exactly under a minute. You don't need to worry about anything. You don't need to worry about security, load balancers, ECR, EKS, you name it. We
Yeah,
just wanted to go away from that whole idea that you need all this to set it up, and how do I worry about my cloud cost next. So we wanted
correct.
to make it very simple and intuitive for everybody else. The idea of ToyStack was born, and then since then ToyStack is just we are just in a growth trajectory right now. Yeah, probably Mukund, why don't you
Cool.
just go ahead and introduce about yourself?
Cool. Thanks a lot, Tejas. Thanks for calling us here. Excited to
Thanks to
work with
you
you.
guys.
Yeah. So I'll just give a bit of a background. So I've been mostly into fintech where I've seen a lot of scale. Because that involves a lot of payments and all that. So I've been doing in addition to being a backend engineer, I've been doing a lot of DevOps where I've been working, and then the same team we are right now. The other two co-founders included, we have done a startup before, and then Shravan and then one of the co-founders, Arun, we have done multiple already. So there was a common point in all of these. So whenever we built something, we had to start from scratch. We had to set everything up. That includes the infrastructure and all that. So we thought, and last one we built a very huge system that could handle a very huge scale, like several thousands of transactions per second kind. And then
Hmm,
we thought, okay, we have done this. Now, what if we could give it to everyone, the general people or startups or anyone who don't have the bandwidth to work on the DevOps or infra for that matter, and then they can focus on product, and then we can help them scale faster. That was the idea. And then
hmm,
we had this idea for a long time, and then whatever we built, we added a lot of tools, and then monitoring tools. We improved the architecture, the system architecture. We have done a lot of tweaks, and then made it usable for everyone. It's just a plug and play thing. Builds everything faster. It's quick and all that. So that's the idea. We wanted everyone to be able to get their product to the market faster with minimal configuration. That was the idea.
right,
And
right.
yeah, that's about the background of myself.
Background of
So you
ToyStack. So
guys,
probably
so you guys, yeah, got a problem and you fixed and you made a product out of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The validation, we tested it out on our products first, and then later on went tried it on other people. So that's how it
Yeah, no,
worked.
no, it's really a good thing. Yeah, Shravan. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, this idea was there with us, and we knew as a techies, it was always the task of setting up a AWS account or Azure account,
Correct.
figuring out what is the right ELB for this stack, what is the right
Yeah.
ECR, what is the right. So that was more like a mundane task again and again, again and
Yeah.
again. Since we built products very fast, we wanted to ship very fast. So this is actually has become a very mundane and monotonous task. So we thought, why not automate it? So that's the whole
Mm,
idea of
correct.
automation came, and then it started pivoting totally.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Cool.
let's get into it. We'll start
sure.
with the basics from Shravan, and then we'll go to the actual tech part from Mukund, where we'll be trying it out.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Awesome. Sure.
Yeah.
Just give
Yeah.
me a second. I would like you, to show you what is the vision of ToyStack and where we are headed, and what do we
Yeah. Yeah.
think about ToyStack? How do we see the landscape of cloud and deployments, all the things? So let me just. Are you able to see what I'm doing?
One second, I'll add it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's visible now.
S-
Cool.
Yeah, so I'll probably run through this probably 10 minutes, then we can get on hands on. So yeah,
Cool.
so the whole idea started, why can't it be very simple, quick, and it should scale indefinitely without any hassles of the user getting to know, oh, okay, what is the load? Did my CPU cross 250 millicores, or did my RAM cross 2 GB? How do I scale it? So what is ToyStack in a nutshell? You have all the cloud services, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. ToyStack is an abstraction layer on top of them.
Mm,
Okay, so imagine you have an app like this. Okay, the app has a pipeline. Basically, if you want to deploy this app, you need to go to a cloud provider. Basically, cloud provider gives you four
right.
things: compute, databases, storage, and network. And
Right.
you need to build all this DevOps tooling, CI/CD, logging, containers, orchestration, monitoring, and you have to make sure that you are super secure. And on top of that, you can have code reviews either by SonarCube or anybody else. And then you need to monitor the performance, either the cluster monitoring or either the container monitoring, or even including the VM monitoring as well, and then have alerts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if, say, suppose you have three environments, you have production, staging, and development, you need to do configure all the same things again and again. The same drill has to be copy pasted again for you. So
Correct.
the idea is, the more environments you have, it will become insanely complex for you to manage. Ideal environments are still expensive because AWS charges you per minute. It doesn't care if you're using it or not. Scale up and scale
Mm,
down needed to be handled, and security and monitoring are very critical for this kind of applications. And the only thing here is it's fully customizable, and there is no decision to lock in into ToyStack. Okay.
mm,
Now ToyStack takes care of all this. You connect your app to ToyStack. ToyStack becomes your cloud provider. It has CI/CD. It has monitoring. We are coming up with our databases. You have
mm,
storage. We are coming up with crons, queues, security, alerts, compute, auto scaling, Kubernetes. You name it, we have it. The moment we have it, we are pipelining that features directly to that dashboard for user to easily use the product. So with ToyStack, you can have any number of, say, builds. Either it can be a production, either it can be a staging, your development, your feature one, feature two, any branches. And the beauty of this is we have something called as ephemeral environment. Say, suppose I'm quickly working on a feature where I just need my tester to test it, and it should die. So we have something called ephemeral environments where you can specify
mm,
the period and the time range that the build has to live. So you can
mm,
specify, oh, I need feature branch in 15 minutes, it has to be live, and development has to be alive only for 6 hours, and production is always, and staging it can be 1 day. Okay,
mm,
so what we are solving here is automated builds, deployments, pipeline, unlimited ephemeral environments, and it saves costs. Okay, we have fully managed Kubernetes with auto scaling. Think of it like more like co-working space, where we have a massive Kubernetes system as a co-working space. Any application you drop onto the Kubernetes cluster, we just give you a small pod which can scale for you.
mm,
Having said that, we are also decentralizing the Kubernetes. You don't need to worry about maintaining that Kubernetes. That's on us.
Okay.
Security logging and monitoring are out of the box for us. And this is a very opinionated way of we dealing with the cloud. Okay, so that having said that, so you might ask, hey, I need a new container to be spun up if the memory crosses 2 GB RAM. So we take care of all that for you and make sure that your application doesn't crash. So how is it
Hmm.
built? So imagine this as a Kubernetes platform, and all these are small
Hmm.
pods that you see, and you have cloud services as well. Either it could be an RDS, or either it could be a S3 cloud front, or whatever it might be. Imagine you have a e-commerce application. It has these four modules, which is authentication, logic module where orders happen, and reporting module where you turn out reports for the organization, and a static website which is hosted on S3. And then apart from that, you also have core database and cache database such as Redis. So this is how typically it is configured. Backends go on EC2, static side goes on S3 Cloud Front, managed DB goes on RDS and Redis. So the first step that people use to, how it works is it has to be containerized. Either it can be already Dockerized, or we help people to Dockerize their applications as well. And
Hmm.
so all these environments combined together become one. All these complex modules become one environment. So take this e-commerce app for an example. Whatever has to go on the cloud service providers will directly go to cloud service providers. Whatever has to sit on the Kubernetes cluster, it will sit on the
Cluster.
Kubernetes cluster. Yes, directly it
Hmm.
will sit there. So imagine you have three applications now. I have an e-commerce application, IoT application, and a messaging application. Automatically all three will go there. Sometimes what happens is DBs are also put on Kubernetes, so we also
Hmm.
support that, so you can have your DBs specified in Kubernetes. So
Okay.
this is how the maximum cost benefit analysis for any startup or any company is, exactly because of this, because you're not managing the entire Kubernetes. You're just paying for the
Hmm.
tiny amount of pod space that you're renting it out from us. So
Okay.
then comes, what about environments, right? So for example, you have
Hmm.
e-commerce, which is production environment, and you can have multiple environments: staging environment, development environment, feature branch, feature one, feature two, like infinite. There is no doubt
Correct.
about it. And you can
Hmm.
specify all these environments in a timely manner. Say, I want all these services to be alive for 1 day. All these services are only alive for 1 day. You don't
One.
need to pay for anything else. Okay.
Okay.
So apart from this, logging, monitoring, observability, and security and analytics, these are the things that which are readily available for everybody to directly see on their dashboards. So at
Hmm.
this point, how people are using ToyStack is basically code, ToyStack, and link. uh,
Hmm.
Basically we have a GitHub and Bitbucket application, which is and you need, once you connect that, which is Dockerized, and you need to provide your environment variables and port number. ToyStack takes care of auto scaling, Kubernetes, and resource optimization. And you
Hmm.
specify this is the link that you want it to be alive for. And then automatically that link is generated SSL ready, custom domains, temporary or permanent, whatever it is.
Hmm.
So now you have seen the second part is code. Then we detect the framework if it is not Dockerized. Then we help the
Hmm.
people to containerize certain frameworks. Right now we are supporting Node.js, and we are supporting React.js, all the front end frameworks. The next framework that we are setting up is Flask and Solara. What Mukund probably can dwell on that more when he's showing the demo. And then
Hmm.
from there, ToyStack can create a link. We have something called remixes, where we actually show certain products, which I mean certain code bases which are already present. You can click on that remix directly, it forks onto your repository, and then automatically ToyStack deploys it on ToyStack Cloud and give you a link. For example, we have
Hmm.
a remix for Django, Solara, Ruby on Rails, whatever. Moreover, and the fourth feature that we have is Docker Hub. So we are very much actively involved in Docker Hub community, and we love working with Docker Hub. Docker Hub and containerization of all these images. So you give any specified URL from a Docker Hub to ToyStack, it deploys it and gives you a link. So the most important thing, that whatever in whichever startup that we use Metabase as our analytical tool to generate reports. Metabase becomes insanely expensive as the team scales up because they charge per user basis. So you can come here, deploy Metabase on a button click, a self-hosted version of Metabase. So you don't need to
Hmm.
worry about configuring anything. Just give the container name, ToyStack deploys it and gives you a link. So this is the dashboard that Mukund can probably show you much detail.
Right.
Then coming back to the pricing for static and front end sites, it's absolutely free. And backend apps and servers, our basic plan starts from $5 to $20, and then depending on your needs, we have different plans. But having said that, we're also offering free credits. Would love for people to come and explore us and have a chat with us. We are more than happy to accommodate anybody who is coming to ToyStack. Give them free credits, let them play it out, and then we can take it from there. So what else people can
Correct.
do is basically this. People can connect their app. ToyStack can, is an abstraction layer which takes care of all the security, logging, Kubernetes, databases. So it's an abstraction cloud provider on top of AWS, Azure, and GCP. What is being built with ToyStack right now? There are a lot of people who have deployed web apps. There are a lot of bots which are deployed on ToyStack, and there are a lot of SaaS applications which are deployed on ToyStack, and streaming applications. One of our startup uses a streaming application where they stream ICU videos to the hospital administration. So such critical
Mhm.
applications are also deployed on ToyStack right now. And during the election campaigns, certain prominent political figures applications, front end news sites were deployed on us. We were also very shocked to see that. Yeah. So at this point, we have roughly about 6,500 users on our platform. We have roughly about 115,000 repos, 800 plus active deployments, and we crossed roughly about 20,000 deployments on our platform. So then you can say, okay, how are we using Gen AI? So Gen AI is being used for us to detect illegal bots and apps on ToyStack. We also are coming up with our own version of Sonar Cube, where you can just check the code vulnerability. You can say, hey, this is a package which has malware, or say you have exposed any keys or whatever it might be. We are coming up with that, and this the
Mhm.
automatic database seeding is one idea that we had since a long time. Basically, say suppose I have a dev environment, but the dev environment needs a dev DB. The dev DB is empty because there is no data in it. You need to sit and seed the database with data for you to test your dev environments. So the way that we have configured is for Prisma ORM, which is a Node.js ORM. We look at the schema file and automatically create a data and put it inside the DB so that you can quickly start using the application and testing on it. And we heavily
Mm.
use our Gen AI to analyze our network traffic and any package loss and things like that. And we also use Gen AI to Dockerize unknown frameworks which are coming to ToyStack. So what is the vision
Okay.
of ToyStack, right? So you have Amazon, Azure, and Google Cloud. We envision ToyStack is going to become the next cloud. So that's the whole idea. This cloud is going to be more opinionated, very less learning curve. You don't need to worry about to learn certain technology and deploy it. Think of us like so we are thinking ourselves as the next neo cloud. And what does it basically do? Enterprise grade DevOps, economical purely, and no learning curve. So this is the
Mm.
whole idea of Toy Stack, Tejas.
It's cool. A huge amount of information, but thanks a lot. I think you have
Yeah.
provided it really well, and it makes a lot of things clear. And thanks for doing that. And I think
Yes.
surely it will be. I think I should have changed the title to ToyStack AI, the next Neo Cloud.
Yeah, that's a whole vision that we are working relentlessly for it.
Mm.
We already have databases in our platform right now, but we are always coming up. The next would be a queue. We are coming up with around queues. We are coming up with our
Mm.
flavors of cron jobs. Basically, think of this like the platform for the Gen Z people who are who are entering and
Mm.
making it very simple for them, so that they don't have the hurdles of jumping Kubernetes, EKS, ECR, all that
Yeah, correct. Right.
abstract it out. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you guys have gone through, they should not have that.
What we have, yeah. Yeah, over a decade we have been doing that, if I'm not wrong. What do you say, Mukul?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So
Mukun is
I quickly
thinking
get
now.
to the
Mukun is thinking anyhow now it's my number. I'm going to explain what I have gone through to come to this point.
Yeah.
I want to make sure. Yeah, that'll happen through recording. Anyway, so I'll quickly get to the demo. I don't. We might run out of
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah, correct, correct. Yeah. And in the
Uh,
meantime, if anyone has any questions from the viewers, comments are on. You can ask your questions. I think for the LinkedIn one, we cannot reply, so we'll give it a here. For YouTube, we can do reply, so we'll reply your comments there in the comment sections. Yeah, go ahead.
for LinkedIn ones, maybe if you can share the questions with us, we can reply on the
Yeah,
post,
of
or
course,
someone will figure
of
out a
course,
way.
of course. As soon as
Cool.
anyone drops it, I'll let you know that we are having questions, so that we you can uh, answer them.
That works. So I shared my screen. Do you
Yeah,
have to accept it or something?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's added. You can go ahead.
Cool. You can see my screen, right?
Yep, yep.
Cool. So deploying on ToyStack, it starts with this dashboard. We currently support GitHub and Bitbucket. We're quickly adding support for GitLab. We'll probably finish it off by the next month. And then any questions you have, any problems you run into, you can definitely join our Discord community here. And then you will get answers to most of them. A whole team, entire team is very active on Discord. And then yeah, we all personally reach out. I mean, if anyone has a question, we'll respond to them quickly, right? So that's how it is. And yeah, I'll get to the demo. So for this demo, I'm using my GitHub account. I'm just saying log in with GitHub. Yeah, I'm already logged in, so it will just quickly log me in. Otherwise, you might have to enter your GitHub details. And then I have a lot of repositories already, but when you start, you will have to start with this import and activate repositories. When you click on this, it will ask you to sync with GitHub, right? So this will take you to the ToyStack GitHub application. So when you're starting it for the first time, you'll find the screen to be something like this. You'll find an install button, and then it will once you click on it, it will show you a list of all the repositories you have. The functionality behind that button is pretty much same. So you click on it, it will take you to your repositories, and then you can say choose all repositories, or you can select a few, and then give ToyStack access to them. So I'll just add a add a add a repository here for the sake of demo, right? Yeah. Once you add it, you come here, and then you will find your repositories here, or you can choose the repository. And then once you choose the repository, you'll have to add the port number, uh, which port it runs on. I'm just giving random like the port number. You can, I mean, it depends on the application you choose, the port number you configure, right? You save that, and then you if there are any environment variables needed for the application to run, you can actually pass them here. You can give the key values here, or you can drag and drop your .env file. We are also coming up with .json file support that also can be added. And when you start in the beginning, you will have to start with the trial. I mean, if you don't want to pay, try this out. You can start with the trial plan, and then if you have already tested this out, you can go ahead, choose the hobby plan or pro plan. And as you can see, every one of these plans has a few limitations. The hobby plan has 1 GB RAM, 10 GB storage, 15 GB data transfer, and all that. And then pro plan has some limitations too. In case your repository or the deployment you need does not fit any of these plans, you can reach out to us on Discord or mail or contact sales here, and then we'll reach out to you. We can have a discussion and then find the right plan for you. I mean, we can actually create the right plan for you. So I'll just select the plan, right? And then I'll just have to, one second, there's not a Docker application, there's a Node application. So I'll have to choose the right build settings. I'll put in vim run build. Okay, save. Right, I can proceed with the payment and activation. Okay, it's activated, so I can start deploying. Right, there's so once you have the repository available here, you can choose a branch and then deploy that. So I'll show you one of those repositories that I have a lot of branches on, and then a lot of deployments that happen, just to give you an idea of what it looks like, and all that. So I'll so before I get to the deployment part, I just want to explain a few settings we have on the dashboard. So if you look here, these are all general settings like the repository name, the owner's name, and then what's the framework, is it active or not, and all that. And then we have this critical switch here. Let's say you have your application activated on, repository activated in ToyStack, and then you want a build happening or a deployment happening on every code push you do to the default or the master branch. You can turn this switch on, right? You can turn this switch on and off, and then if you have it on, you can have your deployments happening on every push. Like you'll get new links every time you push your code. That can be done. And then you can choose the default setting of how long you want the deployments to last for. You can click on this, choose half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, or 1 day or 2 days. And the reason you don't see anything beyond this is because I'm on trial plan. In case, this repository is on trial plan. In case you choose any other plan like a hobby or pro plan, you'll have a always turned on deployments. That option you'll find there. I'll show you one of those repositories also for the sake. And then in case you want notifications on your Slack channel for every deployment happening along with the URL and all that, you can configure your Slack webhook URL here and then submit, right? And then once you do that, you'll have all your uh, deployment related notifications showing up on your Slack channels. That, and then let's go to the build settings. So whatever you choose during the activation, they show up here. In case you want to get rid of the Docker file, go with Node. You can choose. You can choose the framework. In case you want to switch from Node to something else, you can do that. All of that is available here. And then if you want to change your port, you can do that here, right? You can choose the right port number. And then coming to domains, so what actually happens is when you deploy something on ToyStack, it will create a new link for every deployment that's happening, right? If you look here, I'll show you some old deployments. See, if you look at these old deployments, it creates a new link for every deployment that happened. Okay, that's because most of the stuff I was doing with this, I was testing or I was giving a demo or something like that. So if you just want to see the functionality, we might just have a link that's random and all that. But then let's say you have it configured. You have this application being used in another application. This deployment. If you this link, if you want to use in another application, and then you make changes, you get a new link, and then you might have to configure that new link again. To avoid that hassle, on settings page domains, you can have a fixed domain, like a fixed custom domain for a specific branch you're talking about. So I can choose the branch. I can choose the master branch or main, right? Something else, right? Like some random branch, and then master deployment or something. So once I do this, if that domain is available, and then I can add it. So once I add it here, whenever I push any code changes or whenever I deploy something on this branch, it gives me it links that deployment to this custom domain. So that way you have a fixed domain for all the deployments happening. And then so you can configure this in any other application that uses this deployment, right? That's the idea. And then coming back to environment variables, you can have environment variables configured here. You can configure them during the activation, but also let's say you want it specific to a branch which you might have added later on after the activation. You can do that here. So when you say add a new variable, you might have to give the key some value, and then you can choose a custom branch. All the branches show up here. You can choose a branch and then click on submit, and then that env variable gets added. And then in case you have ever configured a wrong one, you can update, delete, and all that, right? That's the settings thing. And then users, let's say I have this this repository activated and the deployment's happening. And I want someone else, some other user, to collaborate with me and then help me or work on the same branch, get his changes tested and all that, or get his deployments, give his deployments a link and all that. So you can actually invite that user. Okay, give it a username. I can say Sravan, and then Sravan at ToyStack, right? ToyStack.ai, and then make him the admin and then submit, and he gets a invitation there. All he has to do is go accept that invitation, and he'll be one of the invited users here. So that's something we can do. And then I'll quickly get to the deployment now. So this is the so when you click on this deploy from a branch, right, you actually get to choose the branch. I'll choose something called first demo, and then I'll say I want it to last for 1 hour, right, and then deploy. So once I initiated that, it will take me to the deployment page where I can actually see the build logs. It's building the application, and then it may take something between 1 or 2 minutes. So once I have the deployment done, it will give me a link, and then I can start using that link. And also, if there are any application related logs, it will start writing here. So whatever you write to console, or if you have any other logger writing to a file, all of those will be streamed to this. So I have the, yeah, I think it's a small one, so it quickly finished in a few seconds. So yeah, the application is deployed, and it gave me a link. Yeah, it's generating a link. Yeah, it gave me a link. So if you remember, I had this custom domain configured, and then it's available, it's deployed, and then working now. So if you get to the overview page, I have this link. I can click on it, right? So yeah, I just have to give the endpoint, and then it starts. I can start using it. So that's how quick and easy it is. And then after that, you can monitor. It might take a few minutes to load up, but then you can start monitoring your CPU, network usage, memory, disk usage, and all that. Because it's created just now, you can't find much information here. So that's it. And then this is just one of the things we can do. So the source could be Bitbucket or GitHub or a Docker Hub image, or it could be something called a remix, which we have, right? I'll show you all of those. Okay. Yeah. And then if you get to the repositories and then go to activate and import and activate repository, you'll find something called create from Docker Hub. So not just the repositories which you have on your GitHub repo, GitHub account, not just those. You can have the repositories from other sources, or Docker Hub. You can have one of the image picked up from Docker Hub and deploy, or also you can let's say you find some boilerplate code on GitHub belonging to someone else, which is public. You can take that URL and then add it as a remix. So I'll start with the GitHub Docker Hub image. I'll show you how to do that. Right. So you can actually
So
whatever.
one second, Mukund. So before, as you're going on, there's one question from Ashish Shah. So he's asking people with zero cloud knowledge, how do they start?
Uh, if you in all of the demo, I didn't talk anything about the cloud here. It's just code you need. You just need the code and nothing else. So all I did just now was just clone it. Configure bring my repository, install the GitHub application on it. ToyStack GitHub application on it, and then done. It shows up here. I didn't configure anything related to the cloud. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
in easier words, if you don't have any cloud, yeah, go ahead, Mukund. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, all you need is a GitHub repo, just code, and then you don't need any knowledge of the cloud. You don't have to understand if that's sitting on a EC2 instance or some VM on Azure. You don't have to think of any of that. All you have to do is, if you have your GitHub application, GitHub repository, install ToyStack application on it,
Exactly.
and then we'll do the deployment for you. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. So you don't need to have any cloud knowledge. ToyStack will take care of all that part. You just need a repository, and that's it.
So I have a feeling he might have missed that. So I'll quickly minute just show that to him again. So I forgot the name, whoever it was. All you have to do is all you have to do is click on import and activate repositories. Say sync with GitHub. Click on configure. If you're doing it for the first time, it says install, and then choose the repository here. Like you can choose whatever repository you want ToyStack to work on. You can select that here, or you can give it access to all of your repositories. Click on save. Once you do that, you'll have the repository showing up here, and then here you configure the which port your application works on. You have to choose the framework, if it's a Node application or React application or a Solar or whatever it is framework. So these are the 4 frameworks we directly support now. Other than that, for any other application, it has to be a Docker application, Dockerized one. So in case you need help with Dockerization, we do that also. You just have to reach out to us on Discord or emails, and then we'll definitely help you out. You have to configure that framework, configure the build settings, which involves the port number, and in case you choose something like Node, you might have to configure the build settings, depending on the framework again. All you After you configure that, you just click on save, choose the plan, and then go ahead. Activation is done for you, right? You don't have to choose anything related to what kind of node it needs to run on, the specification of the node, or the bills you incur, or you actually don't have to configure any of the domains, nothing else. SSL, it comes with SSL. It gives you a link and all that. So all you need is a bit of code on GitHub or Bitbucket. That's all. Okay. And I'll quickly get back to this. Sorry, I think I was explaining the Docker images thing. So yeah, coming back to Docker images, you can actually, so if you look at the placeholder text here, slash Metabase latest, this actually can be found on Docker Hub itself. Like any image tag you find on Docker Hub, if you know about it and then you want to use it, you can click on it, find the tag, the image tag. So whatever you see here, you can take it, you can paste it here, right? Provided you need to know all the other environment variables that need to be passed and all that, right? I can say my test build packs. I have no idea what this is, but then that's how simple it is. You have to create. It will show up here as your repository. You will have to configure the port, the build settings, same as a regular repository, and then activate it. That is all, right? You can actually test it out with this placeholder example of Metabase latest and all that, and then it will create a repository for you, and you can just go ahead. So I can show you one of the Metabase which I picked up from Metabase Docker Hub image, which I picked up from Docker Hub, of course. So if you look at it, I can actually go click on it. You don't have to choose a branch because the image is from Docker Hub. You don't have to choose a plan. You can just go ahead and deploy, right? So the same, it will start showing you logs. Everything is same after that. So it's initiating, it's building everything, and in a couple of minutes you will have the link coming up. So that's one of the ways to deploy in ToyStack. Yeah, until we have a couple of minutes before this gets deployed. I can show you remixes, which is another way of like activating repositories or deploying something on ToyStack. So here there are a bunch of things we keep adding whatever we find as a popular repo and that we have tested out on ToyStack before. We'll keep adding them here on this remixes dashboard. So what it means is, let's say I want some Node.js boilerplate, okay, boilerplate GitHub, right? These are all the repositories. I can choose any repository I want to, right? This is the link, okay. I can click on this, say clone, then my node boilerplate code, right? Create. One second, I have to pick it up from here.
Mukund, I think you have done the other way. In the name, you have entered the URL and
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, my node boiler.
That's
Okay, cool. So once you have that, you can actually now if I go to the sync repository thing, you'll find the new boilerplate, whichever I picked up just now. You can find that here. What was the name? Node Express. Yeah, my node. See, yeah. So it created a fork of that repository on your GitHub application. And then once I click on save, I'll have that showing up on my dashboard here to be activated. So I go here, click on activate. I'll find my node boilerplate. I just have to click on import, then add all the settings, and then yeah, you can. It will fetch the code for you, put it on your dashboard, and then it works as any other repository now. So that's how easy it is. So using these options, you can actually pick up any image from Docker, Docker Hub, or any open source GitHub repository or any of your own personal private repositories. You can actually configure, activate, and then start using on ToyStack. So these are all the options available. And let me just show you other things we have. We offer databases also. right now we are experiencing a very huge demand. We have a wait list now for all the database requests. So we are definitely booked for a couple of weeks at least. But then we are definitely finding out ways to get more DB instances available. So we are working on it, and
Hmm.
then a couple of weeks, and then we'll be back up again with the databases. And then the other stuff would be documentation. We whatever new features are coming up, we have the release notes being sent and then posted on the Discord channels, and then they are also available on the website. And then any information you want, you can actually find it in this documentation, or you can definitely reach out to us in case you have some problems. That can be done.
Cool.
And then yeah, so and this is just account related setting. That's all. I think that's good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. I think
Uh, yeah,
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I
Go
just
ahead.
want to add one thing. I know we are running out of time. Just one thing.
No,
So
no, so one or two questions are also waiting, but you can carry on. Then we'll take the questions at the end.
cool. I'll just finish it up.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
no problem.
so whatever I've shown now is excluding all the complicated stuff, like making sure the user doesn't have to understand the cloud much. So all he needs is a GitHub repository, and then he can uh, deploy whatever he wants to. But then, in case the user wants more control, he wants to actually uh, have more say in what kind of instance or the spec of the instance he wants, and then how stitching together multiple services or repositories, all that can be done. And then there's something
Hmm.
called a YAML, ToyStack YAML file, which is similar to a Docker Compose YAML, where you configure services and then stitch them together and all that, like the order you want them deployed in and all that. That can be done, and then you can also specify the spec in it. Uh, but then yeah, that's for the enterprise users now, because the other plans don't support these customizations. So in case there are enterprise to all our enterprise users, we actually give them this flexibility. So that's something I want to point
Hmm.
out. Yeah,
Okay.
let's go with the questions.
Okay. So Sai Kumar has asked two questions. Number one is there any DevSecOps module built with the platform? Also, which cloud service that you use in the backend? I think the second one is already answered. You are using all the three cloud services, right? GCP,
Actually, more
AWS,
than three.
and Azure.
So we have
Okay, more than
GCP.
three. Okay.
Yeah, right, more than three. So
So
Yeah.
yeah, we have
the first
we
one,
use
there's one question that is there any DevSecOps module built with the platform?
Not yet, no. DevSecOps platform, no. We have streaming, video streaming engines, and then we have a lot of bots running, and then we have in general, a lot of backend services running. That's all. But actually, we don't look at all the deployments happening, because there are a lot of users, and then we can't keep looking at all these deployments. So
Hmm.
even if there is one, we can't find out. The I mean, whatever we say now, like the bots or everything else that's because they reached out to us asking for support or something. That's how we know, or it has to be one of our enterprise clients. That's how we know, or if we don't actually look
Yeah.
at the deployments. Yeah.
So coming to the
And also,
DevSecOps module of it, Tejas. So we are also
hmm,
coming up with something called as DORA Analytics, making sure that accountability, observability are all present.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So observability and making sure that everything is in place is the highest priority for us. Very soon for our enterprise customers, we're also coming up with to show how many requests that they have their backend got, and what was the failure rate, and what was the throttling limit. All this detailed analytics they'll start seeing in the dashboards.
Okay. And also, Sai has asked another question. Can we configure the deployment for a specific region such as India, US, Canada, etc.?
Yes, we can. So that's a part of the enterprise thing again. But then, for if they want something specific, we can quickly enable it. It's a part of the YAML
Exactly.
configuration. We can do that.
Yeah.
We have a few user from not few, one from Australia, actually Papua New Guinea. But then servers are in Australia because that country don't have their own servers. And then we have a few in Europe and all that. So yeah, that's it. Uh, that flexibility is available.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think yeah, those were the three questions. So thank you Ashish and Sai Kumar for the questions, and thank you Rahul, Midhun, and Justin for the awesome comments. And I think Justin is going to reach you out, guys. So do check with him once he respond you on the Discord. I
Happy,
think.
happy, happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really great. Thank you, Shravan, for taking us on the journey of ToyStack. What's your vision? What was your plan? What you guys do? And thanks, Mukund, for this awesome demo. I think I'll surely check it out after this call for sure. Because now I think I'm also too much interested because I when we had a talk back and forth, I really wanted to check it out and explore, but I thought that maybe I'll take a demo first and then I will go ahead and try it out. So now it
I was
seems a little
actually
bit
waiting
more
for your
easier.
feedback. I was actually waiting for your feedback after we spoke that day.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing is like I was really super excited for this live stream that so I was waiting for this from a very long time since we started to speak. And again,
Yeah.
for everyone who are watching, the podcast is still pending. We are going to come with the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe in some time, whenever these guys are free from their, hectic schedule, whenever they give me time, we'll surely have a podcast. But overall, I think this was really a great live stream. I enjoyed a lot. And if Mukund, you could have extended it for another half hour, it was okay for me for
Oh,
the demo. But still, I think most of the things got covered. There's nothing left as of now.
Yeah.
So people can go and check it out. And if you guys have any issue, they can. I think you can reach out to these guys in Discord and check out the documentation. And I think they'll be happy to help you out. If anything other than that, comment me in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond. And yeah, that's it, guys. So any parting words, guys? Mukund and Shravan, if you have any.
Oh, thanks a lot for
thanks
this
a lot.
excellent live stream. We are as excited as you, Tejas, for having us on your show. Looking forward
Thank
for
you.
our
Thank you.
podcast. Yeah, looking forward for our
Yes.
podcast, and have a chat about how the journey started, where we see things, and how we look at cloud, and how are we different from others. Yeah, just have a candid chat.
Yeah, sure, sure. That's what I am also looking for. Yeah, Mukund, do you have any concluding statements?
Oh, nothing much. Thanks for just try it out. Give us feedback.
Yes.
Uh,
1 second, I just want to say, you guys code, we deploy. Don't worry about deployments. Toy stack
yeah,
is there.
Hashtag is there. So no
Yeah.
need of any configuration or anything, guys. Just go and enjoy the platform
Yeah.
and give them the feedback for sure. And
Yeah.
if you reach me out and if you'll provide me also any feedback, I'll surely make sure that it reaches to these two guys and I'll respond to you whatever I get from them. So yeah, that's it, guys.
Sure.
Thank you,
Sure.
everyone. Have a
Thanks.
great eve and see you soon. Keep innovating, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.